So today's session is going to be on playtesting. So we're going to take two worlds and we're going to playtest them. I am your host, GausRoth. So this is going to be the slide for Mining Quest Monsters Unleashed. Now we do have a team member for that game present. So if you want to come off mute and kind of go over what we're going to be testing, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I'm actually the sole team member. I'm the only creator on this world, so I appreciate you selecting my world for this feedback. So, Mining Quest Monsters Unleashed, this is my second game I've ever made, so I'm trying to look for feedback on how easy it is for when new players enter the world to pick up on the game. And is it engaging enough for them to want to keep going in the game? And then this is also my first time doing a leveling system. So it level requirements in order to access certain areas, be able to purchase certain things. So I'm kind of looking to see if the progression into getting more pickaxes and swords, which is tools in the game, and getting access to different areas in the world, does that feel fair for the amount of time that you put into getting to that point? And then just also retention is always a big key factor when it comes to games and everything. Is my game, engaging enough, rewarding enough in order for players to feel like it's a good experience and they can spend some time there and they'll come back and continue to keep progressing.
So this game is primarily for mobile, correct?
Yeah, so the game, I actually made it originally for VR and to be optimized to be able to be playable on mobile as well. So both of them are definitely very capable of playing on either mobile or VR. But with the shift to mobile, I'm glad I put all the work in to make sure that it's all playable on mobile.
Mining Quest Monsters Unleashed. So if you guys want to jump in there on your phones or on web, you're more than welcome. I guess it is playable in VR if you want to throw on a headset and test in VR. But I think we're probably going to be wanting feedback for the web and mobile aspect of it. I have joined the world and I have a little bag. I like that. All right. Daily rewards. Day one. So I'm guessing you get these just for logging in. Might just be a scaling issue on web, but it's kind of cut off down there. Oh, we got book bag flying. That one's probably that one. Inventory. So we need to get some resources, huh? All right, let's see what happens. I come out here. Now, the first time I did come in here, I do remember there being some sort of onboarding experience, and I think I might have messed it up. There we go.
Make your way over to my blacksmith shop to purchase your first green pickaxe.
Ooh. Okay.
Great. Welcome to my blacksmith shop. Purchase the green pickaxe. Now that you have purchased your green pickaxe, let's head over. Great. Welcome to my blacksmith shop.
I don't know if that's just me or
welcome to my blacksmith shop.
If it's the UI lag, maybe too many things are updating. If it's UI.
Purchased your green pickaxe. Let's head over to the copper.
Okay.
Swing the pickaxe in a full motion, making contact with the rock. Fill up the progress bar on the top of your screen to collect the resource to your backpack. Start by getting 3 copper and 3 tin.
This is actually kind of hard to read.
Max out your backpack and be enough to purchase the bronze sword. Once you have maxed out your backpack, head back to the blacksmith shop forge to empty your backpack into your...
Gotcha.
Fill up the progress bar on the...
So it says start here, where it has this... It's not prominent, I don't think, for your first time user, so it might be a little out of the way. I'm supposed to do something else here. Now, is there a way to pull up this step? Because my speakers are really low, and so it was really hard to hear what he was saying. But now I don't know what my next thing is.
So you can go back to that last waypoint that you're at, and it will play that sound and have that pop up.
Oh. Curious.
You will see that your backpack is now empty and your copper and tin ores have been added to your resource inventory on the left side of your screen. Head over to the starter sword shop to purchase the bronze sword. Once you will see that your backpack is now
I actually
empty
had a
and your
similar
copper
issue
and tin
with
ore
the
added
UI
to your
here.
resource inventory
So it gets
on the
cut
left
off.
side of your screen.
And so
Head
like
over
on
to the
my
starter
phone,
sword shop to purchase the
my
bronze
camera
sword.
nook
Once you have
is
3
right where
copper
that UI
and
would
3
be.
tin ores.
So, and you can't test for that. So you would have to add some way of like moving it to a different location.
You
Had
will
a
see that
similar
your
issue
backpack is
with
now empty, and now that you have a sword, you can now
different
fight the
world.
monsters in the world. Here is where you can find the map of the world and a list of all the monsters
There's a
and
dragon.
levels. This concludes the tutorial. Can you defeat the final boss that awaits you? The dragon. Remember to
I think
like
I
and
kind
share the
of
world.
messed up the
Good luck,
tutorial at some
adventurer.
point. I don't know what it wants me to do. Shield store. We're buying a shield. How do I equip said shield? Alright, so I purchased a shield, but I don't know how to equip it. Unless it's just equipped.
The shield is the blue bar above your health green bar.
Okay.
So I can put like a little icon like next to each of those, kind of like the backpack is, like a shield icon and like a health plus icon. Would that help to like identify that those?
Yeah, I think that would be good. Try to kill another one. Evaluate how easily new players understand and engage with the game. If, in my opinion, if the player engages with the onboarding experience, it's very easy. But the onboarding experience can be missed. So, like, my suggestion there would be have some sort of player persistent variable and that you would check when the player enters the world. And then if it's 0, have it automatically start that, or have a pop-up asking them if they want to start that. And then once they complete it, switch it to 1 so they don't have to go through it again. Because I remember when I first went onto it the other day, I did run around a little bit before I realized there was that tutorial area. Open feedback.
Well, for me, yeah, I felt the same way. It felt like I didn't quite have a clear direction of where I needed to go at the beginning. And I felt like when I went to the places to get an insight on the tutorial, and this tutorial with a lot of stuff to read, and I just don't like reading. And so I just I just didn't read it. And I just carried on just like running around because I really just wanted to hit things, which I know sounds pretty silly, but I guess I just wanted to play more. So that's how I felt a bit about the onboarding. It looked like a really cool world to kind of get stuck into, and I guess I didn't want to read too much. But yeah.
So that has been historically in Horizon, nobody reads nothing. So like if you're gonna put text, it's got to be very short. You can say like start here. Like the rest of that text, tutorials, instructions, start here. No one's gonna read that. They're gonna see start here and they're gonna go there. I agree. I don't want to read in, especially because a lot of people in VR, you don't want to read nothing in VR. But in mobile, it's even worse because instead of you're in a VR environment where you can actually see, now you're on something this big and you're like trying to squint, trying to read that. You're trying to dial in the bifocals. You're like, I don't know what that is, so I'm just going to keep going. I would avoid as text at all costs. And if you're going to use it, short and sweet. Like like start here. That's perfect.
I think the arrow works really well. I don't know if you are able to do that, but I would definitely start it from the beginning. Like you enter the game, boom, you already have the arrow and you guided to what to do. Because even if I wasn't reading, I was guessing through the visual you did what was the objective of what you were trying to tell me to do, basically. So I think it
So I
works
could
really nicely.
So I could link up like the first time user, the script in there that identifies if the user is a first time user, that it automatically places that tutorial waypoints on them.
You could actually do something like they do if you ever played RuneScape. They have their onboarding island. I play old school RuneScape. I haven't touched the new stuff. So they have this little island that you learn how to play the little games. You like, oh, this is how you do this, this is how you do this, before they even go into the main area. So that's like, having this, like maybe this is your onboarding area, and then you have a larger area. But because I know you have like these little places over here where it says you got to be level 5, you got to be level 3. I think there was one place that was level 3 over there. So, but yeah, I would definitely use some sort of PPV to track whether they've gone through this. I mean, I would make sure I wouldn't like change that value until they completed it. So like I wouldn't want to come in and then crash and then come in and now I don't know what's going on because it thinks I completed it already. But yeah, I definitely agree. This should automatically start if they have not completed the entire tutorial. Or you could have you could use a JSON object or multiple PPVs for steps. So maybe they completed the first step and they already have the pickaxe. So you don't have to start at that point. Now you can just move on to the next one. Let's move on to the next bullet. Ensuring the leveling system feels smooth, fair, and rewarding. I don't think I've played it enough to really test this properly because I was still level 1 by the time I got done. Maybe maybe your first levels could be a little bit faster, but you need to have some sort of like progression arc. You don't want to just give them all right away. I would do probably like an algorithm to slowly increase the requirements over time. So let's move on to focusing on early game retention and creating a compelling reason to return. Now we came in knowing we were going to play the game for 15 minutes. So a lot of us, if not all of us, probably completed the onboarding experience. Is there anybody who did not complete the onboarding experience? So everybody made it to this point.
I'm not sure actually. What's the state of completion?
I think making it here is the end, but I think I bugged mine out somehow because it's telling me to go here, but it's not doing anything. So I think this is the end of it because it's it kind of shows you the map and where you kind of what you want. And I don't think there's any other mechanics. Maybe this it hasn't gone over. But so it kind of went over upgrading the backpack, but it requires gems. And so I'm kind of curious, like adding this to the FTUE, is it necessary? Because are they going to have gems at this point? So when they have enough gems to buy this backpack, are they going to remember to come here to buy the backpack? Because let's see here. How do I?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I could instead of having it go to the upgrades, I can have it go to that where are the outfits, because that's an instant reward of, a starting level. You get to put on an outfit at level 1.
Yeah, because like for me, because I remember playing Final Fantasy VII where you're spending an hour in a tutorial. And so we want to, since we don't have, we probably don't even have 15 minutes. Once the player gets here, you probably have a minute, to get them hooked. And so you want to be able to, within that first minute, get them into your core loop. So right now, our core loop is mining. So the very first thing is maybe not even have them go ahead and purchase the pickaxe, give them the pickaxe, the first pickaxe. That way they're in there mining right away. And then maybe So maybe the green pickaxe isn't your first pickaxe. Maybe you start off with like a wooden pickaxe or something. So that way you teach them the pickaxe, the mining, and then they come back and then they can purchase the next pickaxe. Now we're going to move on to the next game, which is Mine Maniac. So if team member from that, I think we have several. So whoever wants to talk about.
Yeah, basically, Mine Maniac is a mining sim, but it has a twist. Basically, the idea is you're a miner, but you're in space. Basically, it allowed us to have another take on the typical mining genre.
So essentially, players, they mine ores, you get to upgrade your gear, you get to explore the platform that we've got and explore the spaces that you've got there. So you've got like a shop, you've got an area for tools. You'll see it all when you guys jump in there. And yeah, that's essentially it. And it focuses on mining and collecting and upgrading to build basically your ultimate cosmic quarry that you've got. Everyone's got a quarry, and that's where essentially it's like your little kind of pit of where you mine. You get all these different types of veins that will produce these different types of ores that you can mine and just continuously upgrade, basically. But yeah, I'd love to see
Yeah,
you guys get
the essence of the game is really the cookie clicker type of verticality, where you start with really cheap ores and then you can buy better equipment, but buy better veins to place in your quarries. And then to that, you're going to have a layer of, you'll see verticality because you need to navigate your quarries and your veins to access the ores on the veins and a lot of things like that. So it's a typical cookie clicker with a layer of fun gameplay and verticality.
Okay. So some things that we want to focus on during our playtest today, basically just getting a deeper understanding of the community and how they feel about the game. It's been live. How long has the game been live?
It's been live since it was last year. It went live
December.
towards September. Yeah.
No, December.
So it's been
Sorry,
live for about
December.
6 months or so.
Yeah.
So we want to understand how the players feel inside the world. So, the players flow, like how the gameplay flow is. Is it clear to the player how to play, especially for new and returning players? Does the challenge fit? Is it enjoyable? And identifying what encourages players to come back, replay, and stay engaged over time. So, retention is, it's going to be different for every game. So hopefully we can find some things to.
I think one of the you'll see that it's a bit of a unique loop for a mining game, and I think that's the interesting part is the loop clear? Can you understand what you're doing here? Hopefully quickly. Does it make sense? And then
world, it says it's mobile only, but I was able to get into it on my computer the other day, so we'll see if it works fully on my computer.
On the web is that you don't have proper control because you cannot see the proper controls from the mobile, so you cannot push and place the objects on your query on the web suddenly.
I'll try to join on my phone. I like the camera movements. Jeez. Almost got hit by an asteroid. So if I'm in the way, do I get hurt?
Oh no, you'll be fine.
Darn.
Chaos is allowed.
Now, since people can steal my stuff, can I defend against that if I'm at the shop? Is there turrets I can buy?
No, you can buy, basically you can lock your query. You can lock your query for a few minutes in exchange of antimatter. Okay. But the other thing you can do is just use your tools to fight them and push them away. In a upcoming update, hitting someone that stole something will basically make his loot.
Well, that's about our 15-minute testing period so we can move on to. I didn't even notice that little timer at the bottom. What is that? Oh, okay, it's like our inventory. I didn't even notice that on mobile. So for feedback, the game is already live. We're getting deeper community feedback, understanding how players feel inside the world.
I feel like a very tangible question is, did everyone manage to finish the onboarding?
That is a good, you know what, to be honest with you, I don't know if I did.
I believe the last step is buying the tool, right, Miko? Or is it?
Bought a tool, but I don't remember if I was like directed to do it. I kind of just clicked on the button, the buy button or the tool button up here and bought one.
Or you speedrun it?
Yeah, but you should gain a proper pop-up at the end of onboarding that you finished it, and you finish it because you don't have any labels on the tool shop. That
when I bought the drill, it said something about onboarding.
yes, only for last step to force you to swap the weapon, to show the players how to swap the tools.
Yeah, it's really cool to see that people like the buttons that teleported them to different areas. Did that help people with like pace? Do you find and yeah, did it help you get around the world easy?
Once I realized what they were for, it's pretty much all I did.
Nice.
So at that point, it kind of turned into a menu game because, you know, it allows it doesn't just teleport you over there, it just like focuses on that UI. Now I'm guessing it's custom UI.
Hmm.
Yes, it is.
Yes,
Not
yeah, it
prices
is.
anymore.
So like if you were to want or were thinking about like moving on to Noesis, there is some issues with that focus on UI for Noesis. It should work, but I don't know if it does. At least it didn't last time I tried.
Yeah, we managed to squeeze everything in.
It's still on a custom UI old solution. I suggested it because like we have 4 UIs for each shop and for HUD for each player. So it's basically for 4 players in a session. It's around 16 UIs, and also we have that for Plot Locker custom UIs that they are shared between all the players. So it's not that efficient, and we had some bigger problems with performance later on. And currently we try to reduce amount of bindings as much as possible and queue them in time to avoid problem that maybe 2 players do the same element on the UI in the same time. So yeah, this is how we try to avoid the problems related to UI performance for now.
Yeah, CUI isn't very performant.
Is there anything about the game now that you maybe we can also, I don't know, maybe there's something there about informing people a bit more about what it is, about the different experiences that you can have with the different ores maybe, but I'm really curious to know what would bring people back, like what would make you want to come back to this world and play more.
Well, let's see. No, limited time stuff. You know, variety is the best part, more sound and visual effects. I mean, like unique weapons that maybe, or not weapons, but tools have different sounds, different visual effects. You know, have different maybe player animations when they're being used. But you know, come back is, you know, having a goal. So if I like the game, you know, I need something to play it for. I'm not just gonna mine to mine. Why am I mining? What is my incentive? What is my motivation to continue doing this? So like just in the world, I mean, there isn't really much that kind of tells me what the motivation is. So maybe like where you have this thing here, maybe you have like a showcase, a limited edition item that you can only get, you know, during this particular update. It's front and center. They see it. Maybe it's a pickaxe. Maybe it's, you know, a different type of ore. But it's something that's front and center. It's very visual. It gives them something to aim for. You don't have to put it here. I'm just saying it's something that Because
Yeah, that's very interesting.
so I'm trying to think like, why? Why do I want to do this? So I could, maybe it's because I want. So I sell my stuff, and I want to buy something. So to buy, I can get. Maybe my goal is to get these mythic or ethereal, these ores. Now it says out of stock, but it says it's not in rotation. I'm going to assume that eventually it will be back in rotation. It's just not
exactly.
just when it's right now. So we do have something, but like these are the ones. So the goblet, cliff, and the magma moon. Those are the ones that are like the hot commodity. These are the things that the players want to get. But I didn't even know about them until I came in here and actually, scrolled down to find them. So like having them kind of front and center, maybe, do the same thing with tools. Maybe you have like it could just be a pickaxe, but maybe it's a special pickaxe. Maybe it's just a different skin, right? Having a limited edition drilled skin that I can only get during Christmas or something. Give me a reason to come in here and try to mine. And what's the other one? The other one is the coal. That's just brings me back to my quarry. So I mean, I think having something that showcases what the limited item or whatever the ore is, or maybe there's like a pickaxe skin that I can get right now. Something in the middle here that just kind of like showcases that's your motivation. That's what you want. The variety is the best part. More sound and VFX. Maybe some new place to explore. So that'd be interesting. Maybe like you could do a theme. It's like a holiday theme, or maybe you have another island that's just Christmas, or we have Easter coming up, or spring, or whatever. And it doesn't necessarily have to have a mechanic, but it could just be a place for players to go and explore. Maybe there are collectible items that they have to go get to unlock the next, epic or something. But they have to go out into this explorable area. I mean, it does add a lot, and we are restricted to what we can do with object count. So that might be too much, but something to think about. So having something emphasize what my goal is. But yeah, so that is about 15 minutes for our feedback. You guys have a good one.